guys, and welcome back to Crafty Quilting Designs. I hope you're well and having a really great day. So guys, today is the final day where you actually see the whole quilt and its completed look. So I hope you're really excited. We're going to cut this intro very short so we can get straight into the nitty-gritty details. So with that being said, like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, and please share the video. And of course guys, I want to hear from you. Tell me what you think in the description box down below, what you think of the quilt and how you're actually going with it. And please don't forget to watch throughout the ads so that I can get a really tiny commission, and I mean tiny commission, from YouTube to help me to do more videos like this in the future. So with that being said, give me a thumbs up and I'll see you then. Happy quilting. Bye. Okay guys, so I went ahead now and completed the last row as we did per normal. So I started with a sawtooth and continued with all of the stars, and I stopped with the sawtooth. Okay, so all I did literally was measured the width of my batting, adhere this onto, or you stitch it down with whatever technique you want to use is fine, as long as it's on the batting. And I've ensured that I left my areas at the end here for my border as well as the top. All right, so that is just with the blocks on top of the batting, and the same on this side also. Okay, so what we're going to do now is to simply put the backing on and then quilt it. Now to put the backing on, you will measure the same quantity, i.e. the width and length of your batting here. All right. Okay guys, so went ahead now, completed the last row to be added on to the middle section here, and you can see as this is the middle section because you can see the big star here. So what I am going to do now is to trim this off up to there and join it just like we've done in the other video. All right, just like we've done before, to join the first row to the middle center. Now, as I said, just trim it all the way down, trim it all up nicely to the edge. So this is my batting here, and this is the blocks here, and just trim it all the way down so that it's nice and even, and you're removing that extra bulk. And then we're going to join it just like we've done before with the first one. Okay guys, so the best way to do this, I would use my ruler and line it up. Now, please bear in mind that all of these procedures are just very much similar to what you would do to any normal quilting, where you're going to trim it off for you to add on your binding. Okay, try and look at it as you're just adding on the binding, but in a sense it's not. It's the same technique, you're just folding it over to hide that raw edge. Okay, so I'm just going to line it up. And you can use the scissors if you want, but I'm going to use the ruler and the rotary cutter and just simply go along there and cut. And just take your time and get that done. And then once that's completed, we can then, just make sure I get that done properly, we can then add on. Okay, so you're looking for that nice clean sharp there, so that all that extra batting is all gone, and we can do a beautiful seamless fold over to join the other one. So I'm going to continue doing that. Alright guys, so completed now the row, and don't forget to trim up there so that you don't have any extra bulk, so that when we add or fold this over, then we have a nice clean cut there and there is not any excess bulk. Alright, oh, I just noticed something, look. I did not quilt that square, so I'm going to go back in now and do that over. Well, how did I miss that? Anyway, right, so what I'm going to do, sort that out, and then I'm going to show you again how to sort this out. Crazy. Alright guys, so I have added the top to the bottom here, as you can see, front sides together, very important. My this is at least, I think, 1.5 inches here to fold over to the other side. I have pinned as normal, so please make sure you do that. Just ensure that that is done properly. If you do feel that you get any little pleats or anything like that when you are sewing, make sure you put this side on the feed dog. So whatever side you think that is a little bit pleating or it's a little bit too big, you know, it doesn't seem to fit, just put that side down on the feed dogs and it will obviously equate it once you start sewing. All right, but that's it there. So I've got a little pleat there, nothing major. I'll show it to you there. Okay, so I'm going to put this side, which is the top side, the smaller side, on the feed dogs down, and so again a 1/4 inch seam all the way down. Once I've done that, then I'm going to fold it over and then I'm going to start discussing the borders. Alright guys, just wanted to show you the fold yet again on the back. Make sure you press it down nice and flat so you haven't got any issues, and do your double fold, and then your third fold goes over the raw edge. Just go all the way down and pin it down so that it's nice and flush, and just ensure that it's covering that raw edge. So again, now I'm just going to sew along there using a purple thread at the back and a my color thread at the front for my backing, which is black. All right, so I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to trim it all up to the sides, making sure it's nice and even on the edges here. That's what I mean. So like for example this here, so I'll trim that down because I know this trim here is up to where my 7 inches is, and this is just extra. So trim it all down and getting it all nice and tidy, ready to add the borders as well as to get it all ready for binding. Okay, so this is the stage that I am at. As you can see, I still have room for my borders, all intact all the way around the quilt. It looks absolutely gorgeous. To be honest guys, this is the first time I've actually spread it out and I can have a good look at it. It looks really lovely. Obviously I will go in closer towards the end once this whole thing is completed and show you what the quilting actually looks like. But this is what yours should look like now. So if you wanted to stop here and simply just add on your binding, you're more than welcome to do so, but I'm going to add the border. I think it needs something to frame it. Now initially I was going to go with 2 borders. Okay, I was going to go with a thinner border and a bigger border, but for now I think I'm just thinking the 1 inch, sorry, the 1 border, and I'm going to go with a 5-inch border just all the way around. What I am going to do is just simply sew the border on as you would any normal, and the wind is starting to uptake now, so it may move a little bit. So I wanted to get this done before the wind started, and it's beginning to start already. So I'm just going to go in and just move this out before it takes over completely. So yeah, so as I said, if you wanted to stop here you can. So we're going to add a 5-inch border all the way around, and I just really wanted to show you that you should by this stage have all of your areas left. You should have the white batting left exposed so that you can see where your border goes on. All right, so I'm going to add the border and then I'll show you what it looks like. I need to give it a bit of a lint clean because with black it collects all of the lint from the actual batting itself. I'll turn it over. Hopefully I can do this in one good swipe. That's what the back looks like. So you can see there it looks like a whole piece. So really this method actually works guys. It's really lovely and simple. Okay, so let's go do that now, and then I'll complete the whole thing and I'll show you a lot more closer all the details. Alright guys, just wanted to show you here that I'm using a 1/4 inch feet. Okay, now you're probably wondering, oh, she has a new machine. Well, yes I do. It is one that I've picked up. I've been looking at this machine for quite a long time now. I have done an unboxing video, and it's literally a quilting sewing machine, or a quilting machine I should say, but I will tell you more about this in the unboxing. But it's really, really good. So, and I literally bought it so that I can sew this quilt and quilt this quilt, because I think the other one will not have been able to handle it so easily, because I really needed that throat space, and the throat space here is massive. But more on that later, so look out for that video to come on this Quilter's Choice. I'll just bring it down so you can see the name there, Quilter's Choice sewing machine. All right, so let's get back to the quilt. So all you need to do literally is just line up both edges together, ensure it's a 1/4 inch seam. Remember, you still have your points at the end, you don't want to lose them off there, so just make sure that you use your 1/4 inch seam so you don't cut your points off. All right, and then obviously we're going to quilt it and then bind it. Okay guys, so the quilt is completed now. This quilt measures 73 by 73, and that includes the borders. So you can have a good look at it. I'd actually put it on the ground outside so you can see it a lot more clearly. I used a 6-inch border and only one border, followed by a very blue stripy, well I shouldn't say stripy because it's batik, so binding. So I'm going to go in closer so you can see all of the quilting. So hopefully you can see that there is 2 different threads for the quilting. So I've used a brighter one in the middle just to enhance it so you can see that feather pattern, whereas this one here I use a sort of a brownish thread that recedes into the background, but you can still see the impressions of the quilting. I mean, you guys, you know exactly what we did. There's not much I can say about recapping this quilt along, other than it's a really beautiful quilt actually. It really stands out. Its the colors are contrasting very well. Again, using the quilting pattern just in the middle center block has really turned out really beautifully. Absolutely gorgeous, and a really lovely size also. So guys, I just hope that you really enjoyed this sample star quilt along, and I hope you've actually learned some new skills. If you want to, you can always, you know, add different borders to yours. You can see the quilting there, and I literally just did lines on it. I didn't really do anything too fancy in the corner. I just did a motif there. Hopefully you can make it out. But overall, a very beautiful, bright, summery quilt. It's summer here in Australia, and I know it's going into autumn in the United States, but it's very bright summer here. Beautiful quilt. I'm really loving the center block. It's absolutely lovely. It really stands out. So I really do hope that you have taken on board some skills. You've learned 17 different stars throughout the 6 weeks that we have been making this. So guys, I really hope that you enjoyed this. Please let me know in the description box down below what you think of the quilt. How are you going? You know, and hopefully yours is coming together really easily. I did some lines there, and I just used lines, if you notice, a lot for the quilting. So just on the corner there, I did just did an ordinary pattern filled with swirls around it in the corner. For the center star, I could go in a little bit closer so you can see what sort of quilting is on it there. So literally I sort of made it look like leaves really. That was the sort of pattern I went with. All around the border I did I'm gonna cut that thread off. I did the feathers around it, and I really wanted to show up the center block. In the corner here you can see I did sort of paisley with swirls and leaves just to fill that area, and I did the same thing on the other side. So whatever I did in one area is what I did on the other also. Each of the stars was sort of quilted individually. in their own right, really. Some of them was just dot to dot quilting. I'm going closer with this one. So I kept it simple, nothing too fancy at all, just to really enhance the quilt itself. I really wanted the stars to stand out, and hence the reason why I chose my background color of black, so that I could really emphasize and show off those points with the stars. But overall, a very beautiful quilt, guys. It really is. Really, really is. I cannot wait to read your comments and what you actually think about it. The size itself is absolutely gorgeous. The back, as you know, is just paisley. So, and again, I've just used the same color throughout on the back. I think the joining was really good, to be honest. You cannot really see a difference of how the quilt was compiled in terms of the way we did it as a quilt along. You really can't see where it's actually joined. You would think it was joined normally. So guys, this comes to the end of our 6-week star sample quilt along. We will do another one. I'm thinking of doing a mystery quilt for the next one. So yeah, I think this is really beautiful. I'm really loving the center block. Looks really, really nice, and it really stands out. So if you can do something like that for yours, it would really enhance the quilt even more. And I just choose the one border. I think it was okay just to do the one border. I know we planned for 2, but I think 1 was just sufficient enough, actually. So beautiful and light, works really lovely, very nice, absolutely love it. Beautiful, beautiful quilt. So that being said, guys, do like and subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Leave me a feedback, give me your thoughts on what you thought about the quilt, the whole process, what you've learned. Do you feel more confident about the whole thing, or at quilting, or even making stars, because that was the objective here. Has it really boosted your confidence? And let me show you something, a mistake that I made on one of my stars, and I noticed it from day one, even before the whole thing was quilted, but I decided was to leave it. And I always do that with my quilts. If it is a mistake, I tend to leave it. Even Carl says to me, you always leave the mistake in, because that's just me. I don't like erasing stuff all the time. So let me show it to you, and hopefully before I point it out, you can spot it. So on the star here, if you look carefully, you can see where the error is. And as I said, I knew it immediately when I saw it. I could have taken it out and sewed it together correctly, but I thought, nah, I'm going to leave it in there. So if you can notice here, this one is the wrong way around, but to the untrained eye you wouldn't notice it, but I left it in there. I thought it looked nice. It was just a little twist, and it's a memory for me, you know. But I always tend to do that. If there's an error in the quilt or in one of the blocks, that's something as simple as that, I definitely leave it in. I don't fuss about it, you know. So and that's just, like, I just wanted to share that with you, so that you know, you don't always have to make everything so perfect. It really doesn't matter. Really, really doesn't matter. And that, for me, that's what a quilt is about. It's about seeing the beauty of it, the piecing, the quilting, the colors, the contrasting. Yeah, that is what quilting is all about. So don't get caught up in things that are not so important. All right, guys, so I'm gonna love you and leave you now, and I shall see you next week for our next tutorial. And with that being said, bye for now, and happy quilting.